Hello everyone, my name is Syafina Kharisma and I'm a student of English Diploma di Ponegoro University. Today I'm going to present you about my final assignment of proposal writing technique subject. This is the title of my proposal, Making English Museum Labels in Ranggawarsita Museum. Why I chose this as my title? Because I want to make the English museum labels. I'm going to create a product, which is the museum labels. The first one is chapter 1. The chapter 1 consists of some points, and the first point is the background. In the background, I wrote some facts about Indonesia, how many cultures and histories that Indonesia has that may affect how many museums there are in Indonesia, because museum usually used to preserve the cultures and histories from the past. And I write a short description about Ranggawarsita Museum, about where it is, what it is, and how old the museum is, and so on. And of course I wrote about the problems. The Ranggawarsita Museum has some problems, despite it being a large museum in Semarang. But most of the prob but the problems that I'm going to point out is the language barrier that exists in this museum. And the second point is the aims of the research. The aims of the research is to know the importance of English language museum labels in Ranggawarsita Museum. Why? Like, no. It is important to know about why language barrier become a problem. That's why we need to know about the importance of English language museum labels in Ranggawarsita Museum, to be exact. But yeah, the second one is to make English language museum labels in Ranggawarsita Museum. It is quite clear that I'm going to create a product, and the product is the English language museum labels for the foreign tourist who comes to Ranggawarsita Museum. And the next point is advantages of the research. This research has two advantages, and the first advantages is the theoretical advantages. This advantages is to develop the researcher's knowledge, which is me, and to apply the theories that had been given in the college as a media to practice scientific paper writing. Of course, when I write this research, when I'm going to do some research, I need to read some references, and that might add something to my head and might add my knowledge. And I'm going to apply about what I've learned on the last semester in the academic writing to write a scientific paper. And this research will present scientific insight to the researcher, and will contribute to give new ideas and concepts. I hope hopefully this research will give new ideas and concepts, and giving new knowledge for other people who read this proposal. And the second advantages is the practical advantages, which are I hope this research will contribute to give ideas to the developer of Ranggawarsita Museum, so that they can make they are motivated to make the English museum labels more, or any signage in English, so that the foreign tourists who comes to visit the Ranggawarsita Museum will come back later, because they don't have time to explore the whole museum. So, and they can understand if the developer require if the developer give the English museum labels or an English signation. And hopefully this research will give you insight and the knowledge that might be useful for the future. Who knows? This research or will be going to use as reference for other people in the future. We don't know yet. I don't know the future. And this, let's move on to chapter 2, the literature review. In this literature review, I wrote about the relation of English and tourism because to know why language barrier is a problem, we need to know the relationship between the English and tourism, and turns out they are related, and you can separate them because English is the international language. Almost everyone use it. Almost everyone can speak in English. And some tourists to some who comes to some places and they know that place that place use English, they will feel comfortable, like they will feel, oh, they understand me, I'm at home, I can understand what they say, I don't have to worry about anything like that. And the second one is the museum labels. uh, Before I've done this research, I don't know the term of museum labels. Turns out, well, I used to write this in the museum description, and then I found out that the right term to use is museum labels. And the next one is the museum labels in Ranggawarsita Museum. Yes, this is the main problem because they don't provide the museum labels in English, and they only provide it in Indonesia, so the tourists won't understand about the collection, and they just stare at the collection, admiring the beauty of the collection. And the last one is the translation, of course, where made I'm gonna make the museum labels, but I need to translate the museum labels from Indonesian to English because that is way easier, and for me to make museum labels, and since I am not certificated, I'm not a legitimate anthropology or something like that, I can only translate it because I don't exactly know what that is. So I think the right thing to do is to translate the museum labels. Chapter 3. The chapter 3 consists of the method of the research, and the first thing I do to do with this research is observation. Of course, I need to observe about, like, how many collection in there. I need to read the Indonesian Museum label to translate it. I need to know about the collection, like I need to do the observation to observe about the place. Well, maybe I can do some interview, just ask the developer. And the second one is communicative translation, that I'm going is the translation method that I'm going to use, because I think it is the right method to translate the museum labels, because yeah, I think it is the most relatable method. And the third one is the research and development method. Since I am going to create a product, I need to use this method, because the first thing I do is need to research, 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 research. And then if the product is already made, I need to evaluate a lot of things, fix it, evaluate it again, fix it again, evaluate it again. And then when the finish when the product is finished, this product can develop the museum. So this is what I'm going to do. The first thing I do is translating the Indonesian museum labels into English, and the next thing I do is revising. Like, I need to proofread my translation first, or I can ask my friend to do that, and then I'm going to revise the script, and then I'm deciding the material for the museum labels, like what material I'm going to use. There are so many options like plastic, paper, metal, or something like that. And after I decide the material I'm going to use, well, I'm going to ask my friend to proofread it again, and then I revise the final translation draft, and then I discussed I discussed with the developer of the museum, and testing the final translation product at the same time, and then I'm going to install the new English museum labels. And this is some of my references, not some, it is all my references. I use a lot of journal article that related to my research, and I use uh I used a review to know about the problem that actually happened in the museum, and that is where I know foreign tourists complain about the museum labels. I think that's all from me. Thank you for being so attentive. Goodbye. Have a nice day.